everyone.
Pfizer announces that their COVID vaccine is safe and effective for kids ages 5 to 11. I'm Chris Warner with what local officials have to say about the impact it could have locally if they get authorization for use.
Plus, rural hospitals are forced into a tough position as hospital beds fill up with COVID-19 patients. And the federal government's plan to lift some COVID-19 related travel restrictions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
More people in the U.S. have now died from COVID-19 than died in the 1918 flu pandemic. This is KOAM News at 10. Johns Hopkins University reports more than 675,400 people in the U.S. have died from the coronavirus. Breaks down to about 1 person out of every 500. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says there were roughly 675,000 fatalities from the 1918 flu. That broke down to 1 out of every 150 people due to the smaller population in the U.S. at the time. The findings from Johns Hopkins also says just over 1,900 people in the U.S. are dying every day from COVID-19. Pfizer today announced its vaccine is safe and effective for kids ages 5 to 11. However, it still needs to go through the FDA for authorization for use. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with some local officials on how this announcement could impact us locally.
Nationally, the number of children being hospitalized with COVID continues to climb, with the CDC citing the Delta variant as the primary driver. Locally, both Freeman and Mercy are reporting no current pediatric COVID hospitalizations. While that doesn't mean there are 0 COVID cases among local children, it does seem to show, at least for now, local kids aren't being hit as hard. Newton County Health Department Administrator Larry Bergner says numbers at Newton County schools are low now, but that could cause a problem later.
Currently, our schools in Newton County, we have the last week as of Friday, we had 14 active cases in our school system, and 12 of those were within our largest school district. So you're right, the vaccine coming on board will be a help, but there could be some hesitancy if our children don't seem to be affected as much as maybe some other areas.
Bergner says those numbers could always change as the school year progresses, and parents need to stay on top of things.
Yeah, it's certainly important for parents to stay informed and look at the data, look at the information, talk to your local healthcare provider. You should have all of the tools available to make the best decision for your family, and in this case will be your child.
Neosho School Superintendent Dr. Jim Cummins agrees with Bergner.
It's just another layer of mitigation that will be afforded to parents, and parents can make a decision whether it's right for their child or not.
Cummins says right now they're not anticipating any changes to current COVID policies in the district.
Our goal is just to provide information and make sure parents and students are aware of the opportunities that are available. So if it gets approved late October, early November, certainly something that we'll be happy to look at, see if it changes anything about our policies.
In Neosho, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
We reached out to the Joplin School District, who says they too are not currently anticipating any changes to COVID policies in the event Pfizer gets FDA authorization for that vaccine. Brings us to today's KOAM News Now Insta Poll question. Would you consider letting your child get the COVID-19 vaccine? Yes, no, or are you still deciding? You can participate in the poll at koamnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live, and we're going to check in on the numbers here in just a bit. Rural hospitals struggle to keep up with increased patient loads and a staffing shortage. Nevada Regional Hospital is short-staffed by 12 nurses, so fewer nurses are available to care for COVID patients as well as the patients they normally see. The hospitals had to ask EMS crews to take patients to other hospitals, quote, quite frequently in the last few months.
As a small hospital, difficult for us to meet the salary demands that are happening in our marketplace. It can be very challenging for us. We do have lots of staff shortages, and some of our administrative staff have returned to the bedside.
Some good news, though. Over the weekend, the number of COVID patients dropped in the hospital significantly. There are currently 3 COVID patients there. International travel has been taking a major hit during the pandemic, but now new guidelines may give the industry the jump start it's been waiting for. Fully vaccinated people traveling into the U.S. from the UK and the European Union, among other countries, will finally be allowed to enter American soil again. President Biden plans to lift a travel ban in place since the start of the pandemic. Jen Sullivan has a closer look at the new rules and how they impact the U.S. economy.
New travel guidelines expected to give international travel a major boost after lagging badly during the pandemic. The U.S. is now easing restrictions on fully vaccinated foreign travelers from the U.K. and European Union, among other countries entering the U.S.
We are very happy about this. We've been pushing on this now for almost 18 months.
The American Society of Travel Advisors joining other industry groups in praising the changes. Starting in November, all international travelers must show they're fully vaccinated before boarding a plane to the U.S. Also, provide proof of a negative COVID-19 test within 3 days of the flight. And under the new rules, they will not be required to quarantine.
In our view, the science has been there to support a system like this for a long time.
The travel industry is celebrating the news. Airlines, hotels, and travel agencies all hoping this will help them recover from huge economic losses.
This is going to supercharge the travel industry's recovery. This is absolutely one of the key parts of the recovery, is restarting the international travel system on which so many of our members depend.
And this may not be just a boost for the U.S. economy. The holidays are around the corner, and in some cases, this travel ban separated families since it was put into place early 2020 to control the spread of COVID-19.
This is important economically. It's also important psychologically, too, for folks to be able to look forward to seeing friends and family after 18 months.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
In addition to requiring vaccination, the Biden administration says it's taking additional steps to mitigate spread of the virus in 3 other areas: testing, contact tracing, and masking. Meanwhile, the CDC plans to issue a contact tracing order requiring airlines to collect information from U.S.-bound travelers. That includes a phone number and email address to alert travelers of potential exposure. Checking in with Nick Kelly. A lot of us got a good deal of rain tonight, Nick.
Especially Joplin. In fact, this camera is getting soaked with torrential rainfall down, and still quite an impressive light show with all the frequent lightning taking place right now. 93 was the high before the storms in the front worked on through, after we started at 71 degrees this morning. The good news here is we're not dealing with any more severe thunderstorm watches, and even though this is loud, this is not severe, but we're going to continue with these rain chances since we've got some more showers developing across southeastern Kansas as we go throughout the course of the night. But as long as that front keeps tracking off toward the south and east, that will lead to drying trends as we go into tomorrow. In the meantime, underneath all the clouds and the rain, we're dropping back into the 60s and 70s already. Quick look at the day ahead of us, though. Has the rain chances trying to stick around as lows drop to 58. So a bit of a chilly start to the morning. But after any lingering rain chances during the morning down, we're going to brighten things up, top out near 72. And we'll see how long these nice temperatures will stick around here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Still ahead, despite a national effort and a recommendation by the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board, authorities schedule the execution of an inmate. And a fallen Missouri police officer gives back to a brother in blue one more time.
If your air conditioner isn't working right, call Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. You can count on Paschal to either fix or replace your system promptly. If replacement is necessary, Paschal has money-saving rebates and 0% financing available. Call Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric today.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. Get great offers from GM Financial and $1,750 cash allowance on Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance towards the purchase of eligible accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
There was a time when these kids didn't have access to health care at school. If they needed a doctor, someone had to leave work to take them. Not anymore. Virtual visits in schools. It's the right thing.
The hot and spicy McChicken sandwich is back. And now when you buy one, you can get another for just $1. Or pair it with a cheeseburger or regular McChicken for just $1.
When it comes to working with my clients, I'm not just their lawyer, I'm their advocate, their front line, and oftentimes we become friends.
Once you hire Aaron Sachs and Associates, you can kind of step back, take a deep breath, focus on getting better.
I like Aaron. He's a very personal man. He's community-minded. I'm really glad I called him.
And he really helped me and my family out a lot.
Aaron Sachs and Associates. It costs you nothing to see if we can help.
If your air conditioner isn't working right, call Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. You can count on Paschal to either fix or replace your system promptly. If replacement is necessary, Paschal has money-saving rebates and 0% financing available. Call Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric today.
Oklahoma today scheduled its first execution since the state put lethal injections on hold 6 years ago following a series of mishaps. Included on the list of 7 inmates scheduled to die is Julius Jones, whose case has drawn national attention. His execution is set for November 18th. The court set the date despite a recommendation by the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board that Jones's death sentence be commuted to life imprisonment without parole. Republican Governor Kevin Stitt must make the final decision. A Missouri police officer injured in the line of duty gets a life-saving gift. Now, last year, Springfield officer Mark Preby was intentionally struck by a driver near a police station. The incident paralyzed Preby, and in June, Preby was told his kidneys were failing. That's when the family of a recently fallen officer stepped forward. Reporter Linda Simmons spoke with Mark Preby about the life-saving gift he received.
Following the attack at SPD, Officer Mark Preby has had to learn how to live as a paraplegic. He says he had some kidney problems before, but his spinal cord injury made matters worse.
Obviously, it was another blow to us a little bit when I found out my kidneys were failing.
He started dialysis a few months ago and was told a kidney from a deceased donor could take 5 to 10 years. So the Prebys began looking for a living kidney donor. But Thursday, they got a call. Last Wednesday, 22-year-old Independence police officer Blaze Madrid Evans was shot and killed in the line of duty. His family wanted to donate a kidney to Officer Preby.
Honestly, I was in shock then. I'm kind of in shock now still, trying to just soak it all in and comprehend all of it for his family, for our family.
After many tests, Mark learned the kidney was a match, and he and his family headed to St. Louis for the transplant surgery, which happened Saturday night.
I got upright a little bit more today, out of the bed for a little bit. I'm pretty sore, pretty tender, as you can imagine, and just trying to take one thing at a time.
As he recovers, Mark is thinking of Officer Blaze Madrid Evans, who only graduated from Police Academy in July.
I get to live and I've already lived till 46 years old and done my career, and he was just trying to get started, and he's already gone from us, and that's where it's hard for me to really truly understand that. And I just had to put my faith in God and not look for all the answers and just trust in him that there's purpose and reason behind it all.
He's grateful to be chosen for such a gift.
This is not a human thing. This is definitely a God thing. There's no question in it whatsoever.
Officer Preby will be hospitalized for a few more days and then will be closely monitored to make sure his body is accepting his new kidney. Later, Joplin softball, coming off a third-place finish at the Branson tournament, hosts Seneca. We'll have the highlights in sports.
Plus, we're going to continue with rain chances during the overnight, but we're going to really dry things out and enjoy our Tuesday ahead. Forecast next.
Shelter insurance.
We certainly had quite an active evening, but it definitely didn't start out that way, especially with the quiet skies that we had this morning. Partly sunny skies from about mid-morning all the way through the afternoon from indigo sky outside of Seneca, Missouri. And before these clouds gave way to any rain or thunderstorms and even the front rolled on through, this is what sent us into the lower 90s for afternoon highs today. As advertised, a little hot for today, but we will not be hot at all once we completely get on the backside of this cold front. Still working through the heart of the region, about to cross over the I-44 corridor, but even as it's still rolling through, we've dropped any severe thunderstorm storm watches, but we're still holding on to some pretty gnarly thunderstorms, especially over the heart of Joplin. We'll see how those storms are in a moment, but when these storms were prompting severe thunderstorm warnings in parts of southeast Kansas, be it the hail report around Blue Mound and a couple around Erie and St. Paul, these were hail sizes ranging from about ½ an inch to about golf ball size hail, so these were quite potent storms when they were really at their peak in terms of their strength. But now we're just seeing redeveloping showers on the backside of the front in parts of southeast Kansas, but the main show by far is working right over Joplin. Plenty of lightning on the map. You can't even see the label of the city of Joplin on there. That's how electric these storms are. In fact, we can take you right outside. Plenty of heavy rainfall on the east side of the city and still quite a bit of lightning, but this is loud, not severe though. So at least we're looking good in that regard. 70 in Joplin. We have humidity quite high at 93%. And as far as the rest of the region is concerned, we're seeing most of us in the 70s now. But if you're still ahead of the front, you're in the upper 70s to some 80s, still trying to hold on. But look at that Fort Scott at 69 degrees. We're going to see these numbers continue to drop into the upper 50s as we back things down to just scattered showers for the morning drive ahead. At least we weren't well in dealing with these thunderstorm chances. They're still plowing through central and eastern parts of Missouri, stretching all the way up into the Great Lakes, almost to Lake Michigan. This is the very front. Once it's completely clears out though, we're going to dry out for the day tomorrow, let high pressure keep us quiet for the next few days at the very least, and certainly with the jet stream seeking back to the south, that is setting us up for a few nice days as far as temperatures go. So even though we are done with any low-grade severe weather chances, we're going to hold on to some scattered rain and even a couple of thunderstorm chances as we go through the overnight and even toward the morning drive. But you can see how we drop back into the upper 50s first thing in the morning. Then that north wind cranks into gear. Any lingering rain chances during the morning, they're out of here by the afternoon. And we will have a nice looking day with partly to mostly sunny skies by the end of the afternoon. But look at this drop in temperatures. 58 in the morning, 67 by noon. Not bad for tomorrow though, with highs around 72. But that's not as low as we'll go though. Near 60 by 10 o'clock tomorrow night. We drop into the upper 40s to start your Wednesday morning out. And with completely sunny skies expected for Wednesday afternoon, that's looking pretty darn good for the first day of fall with highs around 72. 77 on Thursday will keep things quiet, but we do have to send highs back into mainly the mid 80s for the weekend ahead now. But once we get past our rain chances tonight and tomorrow morning, I see us dry for the foreseeable future.
And we're getting word of a number of power outages in and around the Joplin area. No word on when the power might be restored, but certainly an inconvenience for a lot of people.
Yeah, and not to mention some roadways seeing a lot of high water as well. We need to be careful about that as well.
For sure. Nick, thanks. Coming up in sports, Joplin Eagles softball plays host to the Seneca Indians, and Yates Center is undefeated through its first 3 games. We're going to hear from the coach, Ryan Panko, next.
The Joplin Eagles are 10-10 on the season and are coming off a 3rd place finish at the Branson Invitational this past weekend. Today, Joplin hosts the Seneca Indians. Joplin up by 1 in the 2nd. Liz Snyder blasts one to dead center, a solo home run to double the Eagles' lead. Then Abigail Lowry grounds one hard up the middle. 2 come in from the single. In the 6th, Bailey Ledford drives this one into the corner. It's a tough spot. She makes it all the way around for the inside the park home run. 6-1 Eagles. And they're putting on a good show on the plate today. Jaden Pankow's hit brings another home. And Joplin gets a big win at home, 9-2, and that gets them back over 500. The Yates Center Wildcats are off to a hot start this season. The Wildcats are 3-0 for the first time since 1969. Yates Center is not only beating their opponents, but they are winning by large margins. The Wildcats are averaging more than 50 points a game, and the defense is complementing that nicely. Led by upperclassmen, the Wildcats are on their way to turning the program around after going winless in 2019.
2 years ago we were 0-9, and all these kids that are now playing now, they're juniors and seniors. They were starting as freshmen and sophomores and getting beat week in and week out. Okay, and I think it kind of hardened them up, and it kind of got them. Now they're just not football players. They've become students of the game the last couple of years, and then like I said, getting after it in the weight room the last couple of years. Like they're just game ready. I mean, they're just ready to go. So it doesn't surprise me that we're 3-0 at this point in the season.
The Kansas City Chiefs were put to the test in Week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. The Chiefs came from behind to win that one 33-29. This week, Kansas City traveled to Baltimore to face another tough opponent in the Ravens. Chiefs have led all game in the third quarter. Mahomes finds his tight end, Kelsey, in traffic. Nobody can take him down, though. He goes 46 yards into the end zone to put the Chiefs up 35-24. That's their largest lead of the game. And then things start to change. Lamar Jackson runs in from 2 yards out. The Ravens within 5. And with 3 minutes left, Jackson gets in again, a flashy celebration for the lead. The Chiefs with the ball now. Clyde Edwards-Helaire takes the handoff. The ball is punched away and the Ravens recover. Then on 4th and 1, Jackson tells his coach he wants to go for it, and then he acts on it, gets the first down, and that is it. Baltimore with a comeback victory over the Chiefs this time, 36-35, the final.
When you have opportunities to tackle, you got to tackle. And I think we did very well with that the first half in particular. Gave up a lot of yards there. So you got guys in position, you got to make the tackle, you got to make the play. And we got to do a better job getting off blocks. I mean, that's what we've got to take care of.
The Kansas City Royals have dropped 4 of their last 5 games, looking to reset today with the start of a new series. Kansas City on the road against the Indians in Game 1 of a doubleheader. No score in the second. Hunter Dozier will change that. A 2-run home run to put the Royals out in front. Next inning, Andrew Benintendi blasts one to right. Another 2-run shot. And Brady Singer on the mound for the Royals. He pitches all 7 innings with 7 strikeouts. Later in the 5th, Salvador Perez keeps churning out the home runs, his 46th of the year, tied for the league lead. And the Royals get it done, taking Game 1 7-2. In Game 2, the Royals make it back-to-back wins, this one by a score of 4-2. And the series against Cleveland continues on Tuesday. The Cardinals are trying to get to 9 straight wins today as they open up a series against the Brewers. Nolan Arenado kicks off the scoring with a 2-run jack in the first. Yadier Molina drives in a pair of runs off a pair of singles, and the Cardinals win 5-2. And that's a look at sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Brought to you by...
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Corporal Randall Yates served in the U.S. Marine Corps. His hometown, Joplin, and we are proud to salute Corporal Randall Yates. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Let's check in on today's KOAM News Now Instant Poll question. Pfizer says its COVID-19 vaccine is safe for kids 5 to 11. And we're asking, would you consider letting your child get the COVID vaccine? It's been close, but a slight majority say no. This poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. Some of you still getting rain coming down pretty intensely right now.
Yeah, but that should subside within the next few hours now. We're still going to hold on to some scattered showers overnight and into Tuesday morning, but once we get into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to dry out and we're going to look a lot brighter for the next few days. Not to mention a little bit cooler. 72 for Tuesday and for Wednesday with a couple nights ahead of us in the upper 40s.
Yeah, loving those fall temperatures. Final sports note.
Nice start for the Yates Center Wildcats. We've got our full story on the team on the sports page on KOAMnewsnow.com.
Have to check it out. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget our morning show, and let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon service is provided by